Chapter 81 Surrender and Absorption. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 81 Surrender and Absorption. With the death of Willie Knight, the leader of the Qingzhou tribe, the rest can be left to the guards and militiamen led by Tom and David. The role of the team composed of ordinary people was also reflected at this moment. Their combat effectiveness was not as good as that of the knights, but they were superior in number and could suppress more ordinary people, driven away by loud scoldings by the soldiers. Men, women, and children stumbled out of the thatched houses, trembling all over the dirt road. Some timid women and children had already begun to cry. In the eyes of the people of the Qingzhou tribe, they are already lambs to be slaughtered, and their next fate will either be to be massacred or to be tortured for fun. In short, what awaits them is basically endless torture and pain. Luo Ning took advantage of this time to visit the tribe. Most of the houses here are relatively dilapidated. Even the house of the leader Willie Knight is only slightly larger. He does not have the ability and financial resources to build a castle like a noble. The scale of the village is not large, and all the houses are basically concentrated in this palm-sized area. Building it this way is easier for Willie to manage and safer at the same time. After a rough walk around, Ronan returned to the gathering point and asked McCann to lift Willie's two prisoners up to him. "My lord, have mercy on me. My lord, have mercy on me." As soon as the two were brought to Luo Ning, they knelt on the ground and begged for mercy. Their attitude was more like that of a defeated person, and they were much more aware of current affairs than Willie. "I am very kind and will not take your lives easily." Luo Ning had a smile on his face and looked very kind. "Introduce yourselves." The two captive knights carefully began to introduce themselves. From their mouths, Luo Ning had a better understanding of the Qingzhou tribe. X.com. The leader of this tribe, the ancestor of Knight Willie, is the Fox Baron family under the Orland Empire. In a series of disputes, the Fox family and many nobles stood on the opposite side of the kingdom of Aljuan, and then they were surrounded and hunted down by a coalition of nobles led by the Ashan family. Willie's father died many years ago, and the Green Bamboo tribe was led by Willie. He himself was very talented in cultivation. He became an intermediate knight at the age of 25 and had high prestige in the tribe. Luo Ning couldn't help but sigh when he heard this. Sure enough, their cognition was still unconsciously low while huddled in the forest. He only became an intermediate knight at the age of 25. Such talent can only be said to be average, far from the evaluation of good talent. As for the two prisoners in front of them, their qualifications are even more average. Whether it is the 23-year-old Wharton or the 21-year-old Dandy, they both accidentally activated the fighting spirit seeds when they were 19 years old, similar to Jewett from Hillwood Town. At most, they can only become high-level knights in their 40s or 50s, and this can only be achieved by practicing hard. If they slack off a little more, they may not be able to become intermediate knights. "I heard that your Qingzhou tribe has cultivated fields in the north. How many acres are they about?" Luo Ning asked. "How is this year's harvest?" Wharton and Dandy looked at each other, fear flashing in their eyes. They couldn't answer this question. Dandy replied tentatively, "I'm sorry, sir, we don't know much about this issue. Maybe you can ask Cyrus." Cyrus. Luo Ning looked at McCann, who immediately walked into the crowd of prisoners and brought Salis over. "New book barred, sir, spare my life, my lord." When Cyrus arrived, he knelt down and begged for mercy like Wharton and Dandy. Ronan noticed that this man was trembling all over. "Don't be nervous, Cyrus." Luo Ning consoled her nicely. "I heard that you know the food situation of the Qingzhou tribe quite well. Tell me, how many acres of land have you cultivated, and how is this year's harvest?" Cyrus was afraid that he would be beaten if he answered slowly, so he answered almost without thinking, "Sir, the food harvest we have cultivated here is not very good, only more than 70 kilograms per acre, which is completely unable to feed the more than 360 people in the tribe. Every year, every winter, several people here starve to death, and they barely survive by digging wild vegetables and fruits. With such a small amount of land and such a low yield per mu, it is indeed very difficult to feed more than 300 people. Most people must be hungry all year round, but even so, Willie still covets the control of the Qingzhou tribe and wants to be the king of the mountain. The temptation of power and status is too great. Wharton, Dandy, and Silas, you are now my prisoners. Luo Ning said calmly, there is only one way before you. We are willing to surrender, sir, we are willing to surrender. Before Luo Ning could finish speaking, these three people immediately kowtowed and shouted like pounding garlic. In Willie's case, they were afraid that if they said one more word, their necks would be cut off by Ronan's terrifying wind blade, especially Silas. His tone was the most sincere, sir, from now on I will be your slave. Whatever you want me to do, I will do it. Even if you ask me to eat shit, I will not frown. Luo Ning was stunned by these words. There is an old saying that goes, those who understand the current affairs are heroes. I am very satisfied with your performance. He stood up, walked a few steps forward, and climbed up the high slope next to him. On the road below him, more than 300 prisoners fell to their knees, children crying and women sobbing. They are prisoners. When treating prisoners, the nobles will select those who can be used and keep them. If there is no shortage of people in his territory, then these people will be sold to the slave exchange. Under normal circumstances, there will be no indiscriminate killing, because if word spreads, it will have a bad reputation, and it may be used as a basis for attacks by interested people. Everyone listen. Luo Ning's voice was clear, and it spread widely in the village as night fell. Those who were crying stopped their voices in unison. Although you are now my prisoners, I could have executed you enemies of the Wushan territory on the spot, or packed you up and sold you to a slave trader. The person below raised his head, his eyes revealing despair. Luo Ning's voice changed, but I am very kind and willing to give you a chance. Now you just need to work for me honestly and peacefully. I can guarantee in the name of the nobles that not only will I not kill you, if I sell you, I can also guarantee that your life in the future will be better than your life now. Luo Ning looked at Silas. Go and take your green bamboo tribe chefs to move out the food for Night Willie so that everyone can be fed tonight. Silas was stunned for a moment, then he came to his senses and knelt on the ground respectfully. Sir, you are so kind. He stood up and greeted the people in the crowd. Bart. Old John, come on, the respected Baron is willing to give us a full meal, come and help us. At Silas's greeting, two people came out of the crowd. While shouting for the Lord Baron's mercy, they walked with Silas towards Night Willie's house. Luo Ning gave David a look and asked him to lead others to follow him to prevent accidents. He looked at the prisoners kneeling on the ground again and said loudly, Willie is just an incompetent knight. He can't even guarantee your safety, food and clothing, but I can. The most important thing is that you will never have to worry about being hunted down by nobles outside, nor will your descendants have to hide in the dangerous mountains and forests. You will be like the slaves in my territory. As long as you can work for me steadily for 10 years, I will give you fields. He paused and emphasized, that is your own land. Luo Ning is not very good at brainwashing people, but he knows what the people of the Qingzhou tribe want. For this group of people, as long as Luo Ning can provide them with food, clothing and a relatively safe environment, they actually don't have much feeling about whether the person they serve is Willie or Luo Ning. After all, they are all serving others, but if they could freely choose their clients, anyone with a little bit of brain would choose Luo Ning, because Ronan is different from Willie. He is a real nobleman, not a bit better than Willie, a wanted man. The uneasy mood slowly dissipated among this group of people, and the women and children who were holding back their tears gradually calmed down. What they feared most was the butcher's knife falling on their heads, but now the butcher's knife did not fall, but instead there was hot, fragrant bread, new. Chapter 82 The Origin of the Name. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 82 The Origin of the Name. Night Willie's house has been requisitioned by Ronan. He sat on the bench and continued to question Wharton and Dandy, getting more information from them. I'm curious, where did your tribe of savages get their names? Luo Ning asked. The Qingzhou tribe is located in the bamboo forest. I can understand using Qingzhou as its name. So what do the purple fruits, gray soil, and black collars represent respectively? Sir, as far as I know, the reason why the purple fruit tribe is called this is because their tribe produces purple black and purple red fruits around June every year. Wharton replied, I was lucky enough to eat it once. The taste of purple fruit is different from grapes and plums. It is sour, sweet and juicy, and it is very thirsty. Unfortunately, it is September now, and you may not be able to enjoy it in the past. Purple-black fruit. Luo Ning searched for information about this fruit in his mind, but found nothing. It seemed like it was a specialty of the mountainous area. He had already decided in his mind that when he captured the purple fruit tribe, he would ask for detailed information about the purple fruit. What about Huetu and black collar? I know this. Dandy rushed to answer. The Grey Earth tribe is called this name because there is a kind of gray-white soil in their tribe. It can be seen everywhere, so they called it this name. The black collar tribe is also very similar. Their soil is darker, so they are called black collar. Luo Ning nodded slowly. It turned out that the names of these two tribes were related to soil. Do you know what the functions of these two soils are? Luo Ning asked. Regarding this question, Dandy shook his head. It doesn't seem to have any special effect, it's just a bit special and can attract people's attention. Is that so? Luo Ning tried to remember. He didn't have a deep impression of the gray-white soil, but he knew the black soil. Could it be the black earth? That he has always felt that the soil quality here in Shanlin town is still good, otherwise he would not be able to achieve such a yield with such sloppy planting techniques. If this black soil is black soil, then he will occupy the black collar tribe, and the issue of food in the subsequent territory will not be a problem. Okay, I've asked you almost everything you need to ask. Now that you have surrendered to me and are willing to dedicate your loyalty, I will give you two a chance. Luo Ning looked at the two knights in front of him. Today is the 21st, and by the end of this month you will all be within my probation period. If you pass the probation, I will accept your allegiance and give you every reward according to the standards of the probation period. A person's salary is 20 copper coins per day. If you have no objections in the next 3 months and perform the tasks assigned by me or the commander and the guard officer well, then I will allow you to become a regular employee. At that time, you will receive a daily salary of 30 copper coins per day. Salary? 30 copper coins per day. Wharton and Dandy's eyes straightened. Although they have lived in the Qingzhou tribe these years, they would go out every once in a while to secretly purchase some daily necessities such as salt. Money is no stranger to them, it's just that money has always been in the hands of Willie Knight, and they have no chance to touch it, but now Luo Ning will actually pay them a salary, and it is still 20 copper coins, which is enough for them to buy a pound of Gaza salt. More importantly, these 20 copper coins are only a daily salary. How much is it per month? They subconsciously clasped their fingers and found that they couldn't figure it out. At this time, Luo Ning's voice interrupted their chaotic thoughts. You don't have to suspect that I lied to you. He pointed to Tom aside. His name is Tom. When I defeated his former loyalist, he chose to surrender. At the beginning, his daily salary was also 20 copper coins, but in view of his excellent performance, I made him a regular employee in advance. And now the daily salary has reached 30 copper coins. Concrete examples are more convincing. Of course, Ronan will not let Walton and Dandy become regular players early. They are not as good as Tom, but this sounded different to the other two, and they couldn't help but look at Tom, as if seeking confirmation. Tom puffed out his chest and said, "Yes, Your Excellency not only forgave me for my crimes, but also gave me everything I have now. If you can serve Your Excellency sincerely, I think you will be like me." After Tom's confirmation, Wharton and Dandy were completely relieved. "Thank you for your kindness, sir. I, Dandy, Wharton, will be your loyal follower from now on." That they have made up their minds to work hard and strive to become regular employees as soon as possible. Luo Ning smiled and motioned for the two of them to stand up. At this time, Elrond, who had been busy for a long time, walked in from outside. "Sir, I have calculated the accurate number of people and casualties of the Qingzhou tribe." Luo Ning adjusted his sitting position and said, "Say. A total of 354 people, including Willie Knight, died here during the Battle of Savage 3. In the end, all the remaining 354 people became your prisoners and are now under centralized supervision. 8 died. Luo Ning didn't expect that so many people would die. He thought that at most only Willie and the sentry that he blasted down would die. Sure enough, once a battle begins, many things that will happen during the process are uncontrollable and unpredictable. Where are our casualties? Luo Ning asked. Erin smiled. Congratulations, sir, no one of us was seriously injured in this battle, and no one was killed. The only regret is that 4 militiamen were slightly injured, and 2 of them still couldn't see the road clearly. He fell while stepping on the air. He added, this battle against the Qingzhou tribe can be described as a complete victory. Rudel on the side also laughed, but he seemed to be a bit unsatisfied. It's a pity that I didn't put much effort from the beginning to the end. I only used up some fighting spirit and roared twice. You managed to get into a fight with that Willie, what about me? McKen spread his hands helplessly. I didn't even have time to contribute, and the other side had already surrendered. I feel like I'm just here to make up for the numbers with you. Me too, ha ha ha, I didn't even use any healing skills. Listening to his subordinates complaining to each other, Luo Ning also laughed. It seems that he took the most shots in this battle, a fireball technique and a wind blade technique, each taking away 1 person. There will be a time in the future when you take action. Luo Ning smiled and interrupted everyone's complaints. Wharton and Dandy have just told us the details about the Purple Fruit Tribe and the Grey Earth Tribe. Since we have almost no losses in this battle, we will attack these 2 savage tribes in one go. Take it too, that the Green Bamboo Tribe, the Purple Fruit Tribe, and the Grey Earth Tribe are a tripartite alliance that jointly fight against the Black Collar Tribe. As one of the few extraordinary beings in the tripartite alliance, Wharton and Dandy have naturally entered the core level. They definitely know more than the hunter Riddell captured. According to the accounts of the 2 people, the Zigua tribe has the smallest number of extraordinary beings, only 2. They are a couple, in which the woman is an intermediate water attribute magician and the man is an intermediate knight. Such a tribe has no ability to resist in Luo Ning's eyes. I'm afraid he can win here at a very small price. As long as these 2 people are taken down, the group of savages living in the Zigua tribe will definitely surrender. Magician, I didn't expect that a magician would be born in the savage tribe. Luo Ning was looking forward to it, although the female magician named Jenny Frank is already 36 years old, which is a bit old. If you adopt a magician as your own, the benefits will be great. If the other party can have a relatively high production success rate like Erin in making spell scrolls, then the spell scroll industry in Shanlin Town will reach a higher level. However, Luo Ning did not have high expectations for this matter. Jenny Frank is only an intermediate magician at the age of 36, and her level is probably about the same as Pedro's. It is not very likely that she can make spell scrolls. In addition to the details of the Purple Fruit Tribe, Luo Ning also has a relatively clear grasp of the situation of the Grey Earth Tribe. The Grey Earth Tribe, as the most powerful entity in the Tripartite Alliance, while fighting against the Black Collar Tribe, also absorbed some extraordinary beings and ordinary people who should have belonged to the Purple Fruit Tribe and the Green Bamboo Tribe. Yes, it absorbs the population of its allies. Otherwise, it would be impossible for the Grey Earth Tribe to have 1 senior knight, 2 intermediate knights and 3 junior knights as it does now. For a total of 6 professional knights, it is definitely more difficult to take down the Grey Earth Tribe than it is to take down the Green Bamboo Tribe. But once they are taken down, plus the 2 extraordinaries from the Purple Fruit Tribe, the number of extraordinaries under Luo Ning's command is likely to exceed 12. By then, he will be able to form his own team of knights like a normal baron. The only thing that is not easy to handle is that these conquered subordinates are not as loyal as David, Jewett, and Sim, and they cannot compare with Tom who surrendered on his own initiative. It will take a long time to make them sincerely surrender, but Luo Ning is not worried about this. Apart from the 3 followers he summoned, McCann, Elrond, and Riddell, who of the remaining followers in the world doesn't have their own little thoughts? Tom wants to restore the glory of his ancestors. David, Jewett and others want to make achievements and even rise in class. Chahar wants to become the steward of the nobles, etc. Everyone has small thoughts, so as long as Luo Ning is strong enough and lets these people know that following him can realize their own little ideas, they will be willing to be driven by Luo Ning. New book bar. Chapter 83 Finalize the plan. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 83 Finalize the plan. Luo Ning had already made preparations to capture the Qingzhou tribe before setting off, so he only brought one meal of rations with him and obtained the remaining supplies directly from the Qingzhou tribe. Call him confident or arrogant, but he never thought that he would lose to the Qingzhou tribe. The fact was just as he expected, he not only won, but he won easily. After dinner, a candle made of unknown oil swayed with pale yellow light. This weak light couldn't even fully illuminate Willie Knight's house, making the people sitting around the house for the meeting look like villains, planning something shady. The Black Collar tribe has the largest number of people. Over the years, they have had the upper hand even if they were 1 against 3. They are very strong. Although I am confident that I can defeat him, now is not the time. I will put this slightly difficult bone for the end. On top, Luo Ning was arranging the next battle plan to his subordinates. At this time, in addition to Ronan, everyone in the house was also Redao, McCann, Elrond, and others. The prisoners outside were left to Zuwait and Sim to lead the team. So next, we will still follow the original plan and give priority to the tripartite alliance. Ronan took out the simple map that Redao had drawn before, but now based on the information from Wharton and Dandy, he had a better understanding of the surrounding terrain. The Zigua tribe is located about 20 miles northeast of the Qingzhou tribe. The distance is relatively close, the population is small, and the defense is very low. The Grey Earth tribe is 50 miles away due east, which is far away. Not only does it have 6 extraordinary people, but it has also built fortifications with certain defensive capabilities. Luo Ning pondered for a moment and made a decision. So the second savage tribe we want to attack is the Zigua tribe. Redao listened to Ronan's plan. He agreed very much and suggested. Sir, it is not difficult to see from the battle just now that as long as the leader of this group of savage tribes is captured by us, the others will kneel down and surrender, and the Purple Fruit tribe only has 2 extraordinary beings, and probably no 10 soldiers with combat training, so I don't think we need so many people to deal with it. Yes, sir. McCann didn't contribute much at all today. He really wanted to show off his strength. When Rydell said this, he immediately agreed. I think let me take David and Tom there tomorrow. Your Excellency, you and the commander will take the soldiers to rest here for a day and wait for news of our victory. David and Tom couldn't agree more. If we are just dealing with the 2 extraordinary beings from the Purple Fruit tribe, I believe it is enough to let the 3 of you pass. There are always surprises in battles, and now we have an advantage, so there is no need to take risks. Luo Ning remembered a sentence and shared it with McCann. We can despise the enemy strategically, but we must pay attention to the enemy tactically. Strategically despising the enemy, tactically paying attention to the enemy, it doesn't matter in any world. After listening to these words, everyone seemed to understand the meaning behind it. McCann also bowed his head and admitted, Sir, you are right. I was too reckless. Luo Ning smiled slightly. I can't say it's reckless. At least part of your point of view is correct. We really don't need to bring so many people to attack the Zigua tribe tomorrow. He said, thought for a moment, and then made a decision. Well, tomorrow I will lead McCann, Elrond, Wharton, Dandy, 15 guards, and 40 militiamen to the Purple Fruit tribe. Rydell, you stay with David and the others at the Green Bamboo tribe and urge the people here to continue the unfinished autumn harvest and stop wasting the food in the fields. Although Redao, David and others regretted not participating in the conquest of the Zigua tribe, they had no objections to Luo Ning's arrangements. Although the Qingzhou tribe has been conquered, it is not appropriate to transfer all the extraordinary people in a short period of time. Someone is needed to control the situation. In addition, ask Sim to return to Shanlin town with 2 guards to notify Wilson, and ask him to come over with materials to register the population of the Qingzhou tribe and Zigua tribe, and have them ride back. Although Elrond could also read and record, it was more appropriate to leave such tasks to Wilson, who was in charge of government affairs. After all, the land of the Qingzhou tribe will still need to be taken care of by someone, so it is necessary to have Wilson come over in advance to get familiar with it. Having said that, with the addition of these tribes, he would not have enough political officers under his command. After returning this time, Wilson also needs to recruit an assistant first. As for the Qingzhou tribe, they can set up a village chief. Luo Ning pulled back his thoughts. Let's wait until the savage tribe is completely conquered to discuss these matters. Okay, everyone, let's find a place to rest. Ruodal, please arrange for the soldiers who will go to the Zigua tribe tomorrow to have a good rest, and let the remaining guards be responsible for the night duty. Rilda nodded slightly, okay, sir. The meeting ended and everyone exited the room. At this moment, the soldiers outside had just finished their meal. Except for those on guard, they were all gathered around the campfire and excitedly recounted their experiences during the day, with many boasting voices. As for the prisoners, due to Luo Ning's kindness, they have been allowed to rest. However, half of the prisoners were put into the homes of their companions or neighbors for the night temporarily, so that the beds vacated could be used by the soldiers to rest. Not to mention the situation outside, Ronan in the house was counting the properties left by Knight Willie. The leader of a savage tribe actually has very little wealth. The first is money. After all the loot, there are only 5 gold, 32 silver, and 164 copper. It is said that Willie got this from selling wild beasts and first-level magic beast skins outside, but some of them have been used over the years, and only this much is left. Although the money was small, Luo Ning didn't mind it at all. He put it all into the space ring. Apart from money, the most valuable things are probably Willie's ancestral armor and knight's sword. Although there are cracks in the armor and gaps in the knight's sword, they are still usable. When everyone else had been rewarded with armor and knight swords, Ronan conveniently gave Willie set to sim. 10 pieces of parchment, a quill pen, a bottle of ordinary ink, 4,330 pounds of barley. Luo Ning couldn't help but clicked his tongue, lamenting once again that the famous saying that the wine and meat of the rich family stinks, and the road will freeze to death is true. He heard that people in the Qingzhou tribe starved to death every winter, but their leader had so much food left at home that he would rather keep it than use it for relief. In addition to these, Willie also raised 8 goats, which was considered a bit of wealth. For me, the most rewarding thing about taking down the Qingzhou tribe this time is the more than 900 acres of land and 354 people that have been cultivated. In this way, he is a little closer to the population prosperity requirement of 3,000 people. According to the information provided by Wharton and the others, this achievement will be completed when I complete the population registration after taking down the Purple Fruit tribe and the Grey Earth tribe. New. Chapter 84 Attack on the Purple Fruit Tribe. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 84 Attacking the Purple Fruit Tribe. The next morning, Luo Ning and others had breakfast and lunch, and then, led by Wharton and Dandy, they headed towards the Purple Fruit Tribe along the path. The reason why he chose this time to set off, instead of going out before dawn like yesterday, was partly because he wanted the guards on this expedition to have more rest. On the other hand, it was also considered to arrive at the Zigua tribe as dark as possible, when the working people were returning home one after another, so that it would be easier for him to carry out the siege. Because there were fewer people and horses this time, the team looked much lighter overall. In addition, this road was often traveled. Although it was not a broad road, it was much better than the desolate forest between Shanlin town and Qingzhou tribe. Because of this, the march this time was much faster and more relaxed than yesterday, but Luo Ning was not in a hurry. In order to keep his team strong, he deliberately slowed down the pace. At the same time, Wharton and the two were asked to find a relatively secluded place not far from the Zigua tribe to stop and rest, waiting for the best time to attack. Luo Ning looked at the undulating hills in front of him and couldn't help but worry about the future development. Although he sits on this endless forest and has massive timber resources of all kinds, transportation is always a problem. Not to mention processing the wood into something and transporting it to other cities for sale. Even transporting it from the Qingzhou tribe to Shanlin town is a big problem. The carriage cannot go. If you want to get rich, build roads first, no matter what world you are in. The Zigua tribe has the smallest population and there should not be many cultivated fields. At that time, they can all be moved to Shanlin town to live. Those who are physically fit will form a road construction team to open the road connecting Shanlin town and Qingzhou tribe first. This is Luo Ning's initial plan. He didn't think about moving all the people of the Qingzhou tribe to Shanlin town. After all, nearly 1,000 acres of land had been reclaimed here, and he didn't want to give it up casually. What's more, the large green bamboo forest is also a resource. There are many places. All can be used. in addition to the road between Shanlin Town and the Qingzhou tribe, it will also be connected with the Huitu tribe in the future. This is a huge project, and this is not the Earth. When workers are building roads between mountains, they must also take into account factors such as wild beasts and monsters. The risks to ordinary people must be reduced by the environment. After this war against the savage tribe is over, I am going to form a team of hunters. Luo Ning looked at his left and right hands, Redal and McCann. The first task of this hunter team is to clear out the mountain forest between the mountain forest town and the green bamboo tribe, the purple fruit tribe, the gray earth tribe, and even the black collar tribe in the future. It will be especially kill or drive away dangerous monsters and beasts. Beasts, especially monsters, have strong consciousness and certain intelligence. As such clearings proceed, they will realize that this area is a dangerous zone and will not dare to approach easily. In this way, the lives of the road construction team workers are more secure. Redal agreed, Sir, after the end of this war, the number of our knights will increase significantly. If they are still allowed to conduct general training and competition every day, the improvement will not be very big. A truly powerful knight needs to experience fighting. The pleasure is to be tempered on the edge of life and death. Yes sir, McCann also agreed. In fact, Luo Ning had mentioned this matter as early as the first time he entered the mountain, and he had always kept it in mind. I think we can form a team of 3 extraordinary people and form multiple teams. One part is responsible for sweeping away the beasts in the area, and the other part enters the Wushan Warcraft Mountains from the Black Iron Forest to hunt the warcraft. After listening to the 2 people's words, Luo Ning nodded slowly. Forming a hunter team can not only solve the safety problem of road construction workers, but also allow the extraordinary beings under his command to be tempered. At the same time, the hunted beasts and magical beasts can be sold, which can not only allow the knights to earn some extra money, but also protect Luo Ning. Being a lord can also benefit from it. This is a one-size-fits-all thing. Then I'll leave this matter to you too. But please note that although the hunter team's affairs are important, don't take the defense of the territory lightly. Luo Ning's eyes flashed with expansion. After all, there is a Thane territory in the southeast of our territory that is eyeing us. Thane territory, it is said that there is a swamp there, so the town is called Swamp Town. Speaking of which, swampland is also a very precious resource, but it is a pity that Baron Layson does not know how to use it. Redal and McCann took Luo Ning's advice to heart. As their base camp, Shanlin Town must be well defended. The reason why Luo Ning came out in full force this time was because on the surface, his relationship with Baron Layson was not broken, and the possibility of the other party directly attacking him was very small. After all, what happened to Wiggins has just happened, and Wushan Castle is about to establish its power. It would be too risky for Baron Layson to attack Shanlin Town. Once this news is passed on, even if he has connections, he will be used as an example to scare other monkeys. However, if Rolands passes away in the future, it is uncertain whether Baron Layson will take the initiative. Everyone rested for 2 hours and set off again when it got dark. After climbing 2 hills in a row, they finally saw the mountain village below in the valley of the ring at the top of the second hill. The scale of this village is slightly smaller than that of the Qingzhou tribe, but it is not too small. The various houses in the village are located in an irregular manner, and their appearance looks similar to that of the Qingzhou tribe. They are very simple. After all, for a small mountain tribe like this, what they worry about every day is food. They don't have much time to spend on building houses. For them, as long as there is a place that can shelter from the wind and rain, it will be enough to avoid freezing to death. Luo Ning observed it himself and found that there were no sentry towers or patrols near the Zigua tribe. I'm afraid no one would be able to spot him in time even if he walked over in a big way. What is that yellow forest? Luo Ning asked, pointing to the yellow forest on the mountain on the east side. Originally there should be more pine trees or trees here, but the direction Luo Ning pointed to was a low, red forest. Wharton and Dandy looked there, and then replied, Sir, that should be the purple fruit tree, where purple fruits grow. Dandy added, the purple fruit tree used to have green leaves, but when the leaves fall in September, the color of the leaves turns yellow. It turns out that this purple fruit tree is a deciduous tree. He would like to take a closer look later. We won't attack this time, Luo Ning said. Both Redal and McCann were stunned for a moment, especially McCann. He was already ready to charge and must defeat the opponent's leader, but the Lord actually said he would not attack. Sir, what is your strategy? Redal asked. With just two intermediate extraordinary beings, they can't resist us at all. A large-scale attack will easily cause unnecessary casualties. After all, one more person who survives means one more labor force to serve me. Luo Ning explained the plan he had thought up along the way. When it gets dark later, McCann, lead 10 guards and 20 militiamen to guard the hillside. If anyone comes up to scare them away or take them down, the others will follow me around to the valley in front to block the door. It will be up to Wharton and Dandy to surrender to the leader of the Purple Fruit Tribe. If the other party is willing to surrender, then we will save time and effort. If the other party is ignorant of current affairs like Willie, it will not be too late for us to take action. Luo Ning looked at McCann. If you hear fighting starting at the bottom of the mountain, you can lead people to rush down from the mountain. New. Chapter 85 Hospitable Erin. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 85 The Hospitable Erin. After the battle plan was finalized, Luo Ning led his people around the crater half a circle and came to the front of the Zigua tribe's stronghold. When he arrived here, he saw two simple sentry towers standing on the southeastern hillside of the Zigua tribe. There were two figures shaking on them. They were a little more defensive than the Qingzhou tribe. According to Wharton and Dandy's account, the tripartite alliance is headed by the Grey Earth tribe, and its geographical location is also closest to the Black Collar tribe. If the latter wants to attack the Green Bamboo tribe or the Purple Fruit tribe, they will inevitably pass through the territory of the Grey Earth tribe. Otherwise, we can only make a long circle in the mountains and forests, so Luo Ning guessed that the role of this sentry tower should be to monitor the enemies coming from the southeast, that is, the people from the Black Collar tribe who came around. It can also be seen from this that although there are fewer people in this Zigua tribe, they still have a strong sense of defense. It's a pity that they never expected that anyone would come from the direction of the Qingzhou tribe. When the two sentries on the sentry tower saw Luo Ning and his men standing in front of the gate of the cottage, they were stunned and didn't know what to do for a moment. When the people inside the village saw a group of strangers blocking the door, they all looked panicked. They were all frightened and ran away, shouting in panic. Only brave young people would hide in a place they thought was hidden and secretly observe these strangers with one eye. Don't panic, I am your leader's guest. Luo Ning regarded himself as a guest and first calmed down the panicked savages, then said to Wharton and Dandy, "Okay, now it's time for you to show off. You have all been to the Zigua tribe and know the residence of its leader. Now I hope that you will invite her here with my greatest sincerity and let me have a good talk with her." Since he wanted to solve the problem through negotiation, Luo Ning decided to give the other party a little respect. He did not choose to lead people directly to block the other party's house, but chose to wait quietly at the door of the cottage. Wharton and Dandy looked at each other. The Lord's promise yesterday was still clearly lingering in their ears. Faced with the first task assigned to them by the Lord, both of them wanted to complete it neatly. Only in this way can they leave a good impression on adults. "Don't worry, sir, we will definitely invite them over." That they immediately ran towards the depths of the stockade, looking for Jenny the magician and her husband. While everyone was waiting, a group of 5 or 6 children ran towards us from the mountain road on the right, laughing. The laughter made Luo Ning feel a little dazed, as if the sound should not appear in such a place. He turned his head and looked over, and everyone around him also turned their heads to look almost at the same time. This scene frightened the group of children to the point of being frozen in place, and the sounds of talking and laughing stopped abruptly. Luo Ning noticed that these children were not very old, probably around 11 or 12 years old. Looking at them, their eyes were timid and evasive, and many people shrank towards the middle. Luo Ning couldn't help but look at the girl in the middle. This is an ordinary little girl, wearing simple clothes without any fancy decorations. But it is not difficult to see that the linen used in her clothes is relatively new and not as shabby as her little friend. Her appearance is not very outstanding, but her eyes are bright. Although I was a little scared at the moment, with my friends clinging to me, I still bravely asked, "Who are you and what are you doing here?" Her tone made her feel like this was her home. Luo Ning smiled slightly and signaled the people around him not to be too hostile. He took 2 steps forward and said with a smile, "Hello, I am a guest of the Zigua tribe. I am waiting here for the arrival of magician Jenny. You can call me I'm Ronin." Hearing these words, the nervousness and fear of these little guys immediately eased. The girl who spoke even smiled and walked forward, bowing in a somewhat unfamiliar manner. "Hello sir, I am Jenny's daughter, you can call me Erin." She smiled and asked, "What are you doing with my mother?" Looking at this innocent little girl, Luo Ning hesitated for a moment. He couldn't bear to tell her that the purpose of his trip was to annex the Purple Fruit tribe. He had no choice but to change the subject. "I heard that the Purple Fruit tribe has a kind of purple fruit that is more delicious, and I want to come over and see it." Hearing this, Irene burst out laughing. "Then you came at the wrong time. There are no purple fruits in this season. If you come again next June, I will definitely prepare a big bag for you." When she said this, she seemed to have thought of something, and her eyes lit up. "Oh, by the way, there are ginkgos available to eat now. Do you want to try them?" Ginkgo. Luo Ning raised his eyebrows. "There are so many fruits in this purple fruit tribe. Now there are purple fruits, now white fruits, are there also black fruits and green fruits?" "Okay, this is what you said, you have to give it to me to taste later," Luo Ning said with a smile. "This thing is different from ordinary fruits. It needs to be fried in a pot." Eileen enthusiastically introduced, "It would be more delicious if you could put some oil in it. Unfortunately, I don't seem to have much oil at home. But don't worry, my mother often tells me that I must be polite when treating guests, and she will definitely take it. I came out to entertain you. Magic Jenny is such a warm and hospitable person." Luo Ning agreed. While the two were chatting happily, a middle-aged couple hurried over. When they saw Eileen talking to Luo Ning, their expressions changed drastically. "Eileen, what are you doing?" The woman screamed. Her clothes were very ordinary, and the fabric was even worse than the clothes Erin was wearing. However, her skin and face shape are not bad, improving her appearance from a 5-point score to a 6-point score. On the other hand, the man with a beard standing next to him looked a little more weathered, with many traces of time on his face. Ronin glanced at Wharton and Dandy behind them and knew that the couple in front of them were the leader of the Purple Fruit tribe, the magician Jenny, and her husband, Knight Horn. No. When he heard his mother's call, he still didn't realize the danger of Luo Ning's identity, but smiled and said, "Mom, Mr. Luo Ning said that your friend is here to be a guest, and I am going to treat him with ginkgo in the evening." This kid, Jenny's heart froze when she heard this, and he quickly saluted Luo Lin. "Your Excellency, Baron, please forgive Irene's rashness, she is only a 13-year-old child." Knight Horn next to him bowed deeply. "Yes, Lord Ronin, Wharton and Dandy have conveyed your meaning to us. I think we can have better communication." Although the two said this, their eyes always stayed on their daughter, and they were really afraid that Luo Ning would do something dangerous to hurt Irene. It was only then that Wuzhuo realized Luo Ning's unusual identity from his parents' uncharacteristic words. He froze there, not knowing what to do. Luo Ning smiled slightly, patted Irene on the back, and motioned for her to return to her parents. He smiled and said, "Please rest assured that I come with the greatest sincerity and will not harm your children or the people here." Luo Ning said, "Irene is very enthusiastic, lively, and brave. The world is so big, and it is a great pity for her to have such a good child trapped in the mountains without a chance to see the outside." He changed the subject, "But now she has such an opportunity." "No, you all have such an opportunity. As Irene's parents, and as the leader of the Zigua tribe, I hope you can make the right choice." New. Chapter 86 Negotiation. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 86 Negotiation. Compared with Willie Knight of the Green Bamboo tribe, Jenny and Horn, the leaders of the Purple Fruit tribe, are obviously much wiser. They did not show any hostility or resistance, especially after Irene returned to them safe and sound. They even warmly invited Luo Ning into the cottage. When Luo Ning saw this scene, he knew that this time the Zigua tribe might be able to surrender without the use of force. this method of subduing others without fighting is the most time-saving and labor-saving. As the leaders, Jenny and his wife live in a relatively spacious residence. Although it is simple, it is well equipped with a living room, a bedroom, a kitchen, and 2 servants. After a conversation, they all had a certain understanding of each other's backgrounds. Jenny Frank, whose father was a viscount of the Orland Empire, later became loyal to the Trisha family after the empire split, but unexpectedly fell on the wrong side, and the north was occupied by the Alduin family. The Wushan family was ordered to launch a siege against the hostile nobles, and Jenny's father, Gervite Frank, was forced to hide in the northern woods during the battle. In fact, most of the backgrounds of the savage tribes are like this. Over the years, many nobles who fled have died, and there are almost no leaders like Jenny who come from the Viscount family. Knight Horn was originally a professional knight who followed the Frank family. During his escapes, he fell in love with Jenny, and then they became husband and wife and gave birth to their daughter Irene. In order to continue the Frank family lineage, both of them agreed to let Eileen use Frank as her surname. If one day they die in the annexation between tribes, Irene can continue the inheritance of the Frank family, even though it has become dispensable. I heard from Wharton and Dandy that you hope that Horn and I will lead the Purple Fruit tribe to surrender to you. In the simple living room, Jenny's family and Luo Ning sat opposite each other. It could be seen that although Knight Horn was the husband of the other party, the person in charge of the Purple Fruit tribe's conversation was still the lady in front of him. If we surrender, I wonder how you will arrange for us. Jenny's performance is generous and her behavior is natural and appropriate. She is worthy of being educated by the Viscount family, and her temperament and conversation are indeed different. Luo Ning said straight to the point, I will give you legal status. From the moment you are loyal to me, you will not have to worry about being arrested and thrown into prison on the grounds of being a remnant, or sold into slavery. He said, looking at the girl Irene who was sitting next to her with her big eyes blinking, I heard from you guys that Irene awakened the mana space on her birthday 3 months ago and became a junior magician. It would be a pity for a junior magician who has just turned 13 with such a talent to be trapped in this wilderness. A junior magician who has just turned 13, Erin has great potential. Although she is still young now, she has already attracted Ronan's attention. His polite attitude towards Jenny and Horn is actually partly from Eileen, a little girl with great talent. You have obtained legal status, and Erin can go out and have a look. If she is allowed to follow me, she will definitely become a powerful magician in the future. Jenny and Horn looked at each other, and both saw the throbbing in each other's eyes. For so many years, they have wanted to live in the outside world, but they have never been able to do so. Even if you can sneak out for a walk once in a while, you should be careful and try to avoid too many interactions with people. Especially in the past 2 years, the conflicts between the savage tribes have become more and more intense, and they are no longer able to support the development of the Zigua tribe. If nothing unexpected happens, their tribe will be annexed by the Grey Earth tribe or the Black Collar tribe before long, and the two of them will be even more passive at that time. Now Luo Ning's appearance has undoubtedly given them a second choice. And it is the best choice, from Jenny and Horn's perspective. This young nobleman has already annexed the Green Bamboo tribe and is about to annex the Zigua tribe. He will definitely attack the Huetu and Black Collar tribes in the future, and he has a high chance of success. Moreover, the opponent is still a bloodline of the Wushan family and belongs to the highest level noble of the Wushan territory. Following him now is undoubtedly a good choice. Jenny suppressed her thoughts and continued to ask, so Lord Luo Ning, I wonder what you need us to do for you. Luo Ning smiled slightly, and it was obvious that the other party basically agreed. I need you to do a lot, I don't have to hide that. He said, the management, construction, defense, and expansion of the territory require your efforts for me in many places. And as intermediate professionals, you have considerable combat effectiveness. When necessary, you, especially the Horn Knights, I need you to charge into battle for me. Horn nodded secretly, that's how knights should be. In addition, the other people in the Zigua tribe will respect me as their master, and you have no right to dominate them anymore. For these people, although they are equivalent to my captives and slaves at the beginning, I can guarantee that they will not be sold to outsiders, and as long as they work for me for 10 years, I will not only give them a piece of land, but also improve their status. For serfs, free tenants. Jenny frowned slightly, what about our identities? That if they were also slaves, Jenny would not be able to accept this identity. After all, she was from a Viscount family. Luo Ning smiled slightly and said, you, Knight Horn and Irene are naturally not included in this list. I will treat you as free citizens and pay you a salary commensurate with your strength. Hearing this, Jenny and Horn looked at each other, nodded slightly, and they agreed to this arrangement. The two of them stood up with smiles, walked to Luo Ning, and knelt down on one knee. Dear Lord Baron, please accept our allegiance. Eileen next to her was immediately panicked when she saw this scene. She is still a little unresponsive. She originally wanted to give the other party ginkgo to eat, but why are her parents using such a formal etiquette now? In desperation, she could only kneel down on one knee and said, please accept my allegiance. Good, Ronan laughed, I accept your allegiance, Ms. Jenny, Knight Horn, and Irene. He stepped forward and helped the three of them up. Lord Luo Ning, I'll ask Aunt Moya to make ginkgo for you. After all, Eileen is still a 13-year-old child. After being restrained and serious, when the atmosphere returned to joy, he could not help but show his true nature. I'm very curious about what ginkgo looks like. If possible, please show it to me. Of course, I'll get it right away. Erin hurried towards the other room. Seeing their daughter running out happily, Jenny and Horn couldn't help but smile with relief. From now on, they can go out openly and live outside. Grown-ups. Jenny looked at Luo Ning with a very serious expression. If you want to capture the Grey Earth tribe, I have a way, which may help you save a lot of energy. Luo Ning was startled and looked at the ordinary-looking lady in front of him with the temperament of a leader. Please tell me. Jenny glanced at Horn, who nodded slightly as if he knew something, but just when she was about to tell her own solution, Irene came back jumping and handed Luo Ning a white fruit. Sir, this is the ginkgo. If you peel it first and then fry the core inside, it will be very delicious. Luo Ning couldn't help but look at the white fruit in his hand, and was stunned. This is, what kind of fruit is this? This is clearly, new. Chapter 87 An Unexpected Surprise. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 87 An Unexpected Surprise. Luo Ning stared at the white oval ginkgo in his hand, and fell into a state of complete astonishment for a moment. If his guess was correct, the so-called ginkgo was none other than something that Luo Ning had often seen in his hometown on Earth and had participated in raising when he was a child, silkworm cocoons. What's wrong? Irene blinked and stared at Luo Ning. She didn't understand why the other party was so surprised. Could it be that she thought the ginkgo was too delicious and couldn't help it? Luo Ning came back to his senses and asked quickly, is the ginkgo you mentioned made from a worm? Also, when you said you peeled it open, did you eat the pupa inside? Is that thing called a chrysalis? We always call it a nucleus. Knight Horn spoke. Compared to Jenny, who didn't work much, he often traveled outside and knew more about ginkgo. Sir, as you said, ginkgo is indeed made from insects. I don't know if the insects exist elsewhere, but there are quite a few of them here in the purple fruit tribe. Luo Ning's eyes lit up. Quick, tell us. Knight Horn said, when Jenny and I led the team here, we discovered the purple fruit forest outside. I saw a lot of gray fat insects under the leaves. I named them Big Gray Insect. Later we settled here, and I observed them for a while and found that these bugs feed on the leaves of purple fruit trees. When they grow up, they will spit out this white pulp and wrap themselves in it. One day, out of curiosity, I picked up the white slurry. The shell was peeled off and the core was found. Speaking of this, he chuckled. It was too difficult when I first settled here and there was nothing to eat, so I tried to cook and eat this thing. I found that it was not only non-toxic, but could also replenish the body, so this thing has become the special food of my purple fruit tribe. Luo Ning finally confirmed that the so-called ginkgo was a silkworm cocoon. The big gray worm that Horn Knight calls is probably a silkworm, but it is different from the domestic silkworm, which grows outside. As for the so-called purple fruit trees and purple fruits, Luo Ning guessed that they should be mulberry trees and mulberries. The yellow forest he saw on the top of the crater should be the mulberry forest. And the fallen mulberry leaves happened to be yellow. Ronan's heart pounded. Silkworms are a good thing. The cocoons they spin can be used to spin silk threads to make silk. Silk is even better. In ancient China, the price of this item was so high that only high-ranking families could wear it. When sold outside, it was even more expensive. In this world, Luo Ning does not have any memory related to sericulture. There are generally only 3 materials used to make clothes here: wool, leather, and cloth. The fabrics are basically coarse linen, fine linen, etc. made of linen as the main material. Ordinary people usually wear coarse linen clothes, while nobles wear clothes made of fine linen, wool, and precious furs to show their status. It is said that cotton cloth is still available in the south, but it has not been widely cultivated and is also very rare. As for silk, I had never heard of it. Luo Ning never expected that there would be sericulture in the Zigua tribe. If he could make these cocoons into silk, it would become the signature industry of Shanlin town in the future, much more reliable than the black iron tree. How many more of these ginkgo do you have? Luo Ning asked. There are many more. Erin gestured exaggeratedly. There are still several more boxes. Come on, take me to see you. As Luo Ning said that, he took Eileen's hand and hurried towards the house where the other party just entered. Jenny and Horn looked at each other, and the latter was confused. Why is the Baron so interested in ginkgo? He didn't even hear about your plan for the Grey Earth tribe. Jenny shook her head. I don't know, but I feel that adults should know ginkgo better than us. Let's go and have a look. This room is more like a warehouse, with many wooden boxes placed inside. Erin opened all 4 wooden boxes, which were filled with silkworm cocoons. My father would leave a box of seeds every year. By next spring, the ginkgo would sprout and produce more offspring. She said, so many. Luo Ning squatted beside the box and observed carefully. A few of the cocoons here are grayish-yellow, but most of them are white, and there is no dirt like broken leaves on them. They must have been cleaned by Horn. These cocoons are at least half a circle larger than the cocoons formed by silkworms in Luo Ning's impression. According to Horn, they are gray bugs and should be different from ordinary silkworms. Horn, do you know how to breed? Luo Ning turned to look at the following night. You know, a little bit, right? Horn scratched his head. Sir, you also know that life in the mountains is very boring. I study them when I have nothing to do. Those big gray worms form shells and hide themselves in them for the winter, and wait until next summer it will come out from inside. Speaking of this, Horn seemed to be getting excited. Sir, you may not know that those bugs turn into moths when they come out. Although the moth exists for a very short time and dies after laying eggs. But it leaves behind dense eggs, and they will grow into more lots of big gray worms. He said, pointing to a box in the house. You only need to keep a small part of the box every year, and it will be enough to harvest several boxes of ginkgo the next year. Luo Ning listened and thought, he has determined that these are silkworm cocoons, and what they eat is the silkworm chrysalis inside, but the silkworms here were different from what he knew. The silkworms he is familiar with usually live in spring and autumn and overwinter in the form of silkworm eggs, but this is not the case for the silkworms of the purple fruit tribe. It turns into a cocoon in autumn, pupates inside, spends the winter in the form of a pupa, and does not emerge from the pupa until the following summer. The reason why there is such a difference, Luo Ning guessed, is caused by the temperature. Shanlin town is located in the northernmost part of Wushan territory, where the climate has 4 distinct seasons. The temperature in spring and autumn is about 5-15 degrees Celsius, which is not suitable for silkworm growth. Only summer temperatures of 20 to 30 degrees Celsius are suitable for silkworm hatching and growth. Since September, Luo Ning has felt the temperature drop, but as an intermediate night, the feeling is not so obvious. Having said that, here in the Zigua tribe, under natural conditions, only 1 season of silkworms can be raised every year, unless the ambient temperature can be changed and a suitable environment is created in spring or autumn. Breeding can be done for multiple seasons, but this is obviously unattainable. Luo Ning squatted next to the box, picked up a few silkworm cocoons, played with them, and asked, Horn, how many silkworm seeds, do you leave as seeds every year? Horn pondered slightly. About a dozen, not more than 20. Why not leave more? Horn spread his hands and said, Sir, I also thought about leaving more, but there are not enough purple fruit trees on the mountain. If you add more, you won't be able to survive. Luo Ning nodded slowly, forgetting about this. He held up a silkworm cocoon and introduced it to Horn and the others. The ginkgo you are talking about is actually called a silkworm cocoon, and the core inside is called a silkworm chrysalis. The silkworm chrysalis can be eaten, but the silkworm cocoon has other wonderful uses. Oh, by the way, the purple fruit tree should be a mulberry tree, and the purple fruit is a mulberry. Jenny and Horn couldn't help but look at each other. Their guess was indeed correct. The Baron in front of them knew a lot about purple fruit. We are deeply impressed by your erudition, my lord. Jenny smiled. Starting today, we will revise these titles. Erin blinked at the side, a little surprised. Then should we be called the Mulberry tribe? Luo Ning couldn't help but smile after hearing this. Actually, it doesn't matter what it's called. He said, originally, I was planning to move all of you to Shanlin town, but now I have changed my mind. Since the Zigua tribe has silkworms and mulberry trees, we must make good use of these resources. Luo Ning has already thought about it. He wants to change wheat to mulberry in the Zigua tribe. New. Chapter 88 Offering Strategies. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 88 Offering Strategies. Luo Ning already had a certain understanding of the size of the Zigua tribe in previous conversations. Although the population of this tribe was less than 300, it exceeded his expectations, including Jenny's family. The Zigua tribe had a total of 242 people and cultivated 806 acres of land, in addition to some vegetables. Most of them are barley and wheat. The reason why the Zigua tribe has such a large area of fields is mainly due to the cultivation of land. When the population was large, it is said that at its peak, there were 400 to 500 people living here. Now there are less than 300 people left. Although the food output is not high, there is relatively more food to eat. According to Jenny's prediction, this year's autumn harvest will yield more than 30,000 kilograms of barley. In addition to the wheat harvested before, as well as the stored wild vegetables, etc., the people in the tribe should have no problem surviving this winter. Before deciding to change the wheat field into a mulberry field, Luo Ning decided to wait until dawn tomorrow to see the condition of the mulberry forest. Although he now has silkworm cocoons in hand, it is still very difficult to make silkworm cocoons into silk. He knew the steps of boiling cocoons and reeling silk, but he did not have a spinning wheel or a loom, so weaving was a difficult task. However, sheep are raised on the territory and wool is produced every year. Many women do some simple weaving work at home, and there are also tools such as spindles and looms here, albeit relatively simple. Although these machines and tools cannot be used to weave silk, after all, the latter is more delicate and complex, but sometimes knowledge is more important than tools. As long as they can understand that silk can also weave cloth, I believe that after a long period of trying, they should be able to weave silk. Luo Ning remembered that Tom's mother ran a tailor shop. She should be good at weaving. After returning home, she could consider asking him to study silk. Of course, Ronan will help. He has a unique understanding of sericulture, and his introduction of cocoon cooking and silk reeling was a leap from 0 to 1. That night, Ronan enjoyed a lavish dinner at Jenny's home. Luo Ning, McCann and other extraordinary people all had a plate of ginkgo in front of them. Their subordinates ate it happily, but Luo Ning couldn't eat it, mainly because of his preconceived notions. He felt that this thing was too strong in taste, so much so that he felt a sense of discomfort when thinking of the black chrysalis. However, under Irene's eager gaze, Luo Ning reluctantly took a bite. I didn't expect that I wouldn't know it until I ate it. Once I ate it, I discovered that the fried silkworm chrysalis was crispy, soft and full of flavor. How is it? Is it delicious? Erin asked with a smile. Luo Ning nodded and said with a smile, apart from its appearance, fried silkworm chrysalis is indeed a delicacy. I heard that it not only tastes good, but also has high nutritional value. The subordinates sitting around all nodded while eating. They had never eaten such food before, and this time they came to the Zigua tribe and tasted something new. After having enough wine and food, the two servants cleared away the tableware, and all the extraordinary people gathered in the living room. The dim candlelight dimly illuminated the blurred faces of everyone, and they knew that the Baron was about to formulate the next battle plan. It had only been less than 2 days since they left Shanlin town, and they had already captured 2 savage tribes very quickly. Our next target is the Grey Earth tribe. Luo Ning looked around at everyone, but you also know that they have built fortifications and have more extraordinary people than the Zigua and Qingzhou tribes. If we attack by force, we will not suffer any losses like yesterday and today. His eyes finally fell on Jenny. Ms. Jenny, I remember you said before that there is a way for me to save time and effort to take down the Grey Earth tribe. What is it? Erin, who is 1.42 meters tall, sat next to her mother and listened quietly to everyone's conversation. Her eyes kept moving around everyone. Before today, she would never have thought that so many older brothers and uncles, or even her parents, would respect this young man in front of her so much, who seemed not much older than her. For the first time, she could truly feel her original identity and status. Sometimes it has nothing to do with age. Finally, her eyes rested on Luo Ning. This silver-haired boy was so attractive. Jenny didn't know what her daughter was thinking about at this moment. What she was thinking about was to provide strategies for this new loyal master, which could be regarded as her pledge of honor. The leader of the Grey Earth tribe is named Slain. His parents were just ordinary people who fled together, but he awakened the seeds of fighting spirit, and his strength has grown steadily over the years. He is a 38-year-old senior knight with more combat power than Horn. Be stronger. Luo Ning couldn't help but look at the Horn Knight. The opponent was only an intermediate knight, but only a little weaker than the high-level knight. It seemed that Horn was either about to break through, or his combat experience and skills were superior to the opponent. It seems that Horn and Jenny's cultivation talents are not too bad. No wonder their daughter's qualifications are so good. Jenny continued, Sir, you should know from Wharton and Dandy that our 3 tribes formed a tripartite alliance. When it was first established, we fought several times with the Black-Collar tribe. At that time, the tripartite alliance had more exchanges. She paused, glanced at her husband, and then continued, Slain confessed his love to me more than once during our cooperation and asked me to leave Horn and live in his Grey Earth tribe, but I refused every time. Luo Ning couldn't help but touch his nose. Sure enough, things between men and women can happen anywhere, even among savage tribes with poor living conditions. He couldn't help but look at Jenny again. Although the other party's appearance was high in her mind, it was not beautiful, but if you put it in the Wubei forest, it will definitely be at the top. And don't forget, Jenny is from a Viscount family. Although the Frank family is now in decline, she comes from a real aristocratic family, with good looks, aristocratic background, and the fact that she is an intermediate magician. Such a woman is very attractive to other people. It is indeed very reasonable for Slain, the leader of the Grey Earth tribe, to want to be with Jenny. The latter disagreed. Maybe it was because she had a very deep relationship with Horn and they had a daughter. Maybe she just didn't like people like Slain at all. Luo Ning glanced at Horn. His expression did not change. He obviously knew about this matter. Maybe Horn had even fought with Slain. After all, Jenny just said that Slain is stronger. Without comparing or fighting, how could we get such a result? Looking back at Jenny, Luo Ning asked with a smile, So, are you going to use a honey trap against Slain? Honey trap. Everyone's ears twitched. This was the first time they heard this word. Thank you for your compliment, sir. Jenny was a little embarrassed. Although this is the first time I heard about honey trap, your meaning should be similar to what I think. For a moment, Luo Ning didn't understand why the other party was suddenly embarrassed and suddenly thanked himself. After thinking for a while, he realized that Jenny thought she was praising the other person's beauty. Sir, the relationship between Horn and Slain is very bad. Jenny continued, Perhaps I can write a letter to Slain, saying that Horn has been promoted to a senior knight and is dissatisfied with being below me and the humiliation he has received from him over the years. His whole person seems to have changed. They imprisoned Irene and I like crazy, hoping that Slain could send someone over to rescue our mother and daughter. Horn looked at his wife helplessly. How could he, an honest man who loved his wife and daughter, become a pervert? However, McCann couldn't help but be secretly shocked after hearing these words. Sure enough, the woman's words should not be taken lightly. Look, This plan is too cunning and cruel. Luo Ning nodded. He knew what the other party's strategy was, but he still hesitated. Will Slain believe it? Will do. Jenny was very sure. Slain has always regarded himself as the leader of the tripartite alliance. He is an arrogant, conceited, and stubborn person. The most important thing is that he not only covets me, but even sets his sights on Irene. Her eyes were slightly cold, probably because her daughter's safety was threatened. After receiving my letter for help, he will not only be able to kill Horn, annex the Zigua tribe, but also bring us mother and daughter under his command. He will definitely not be able to bear it. Luo Ning frowned and couldn't help but look at Irene, who shrank into her mother's arms. She didn't expect that there was this layer of story in between. Thinking about it now, part of the reason why Jenny and his wife surrendered themselves so simply was for the safety of Irene, right? However, no matter what the reasons and purposes were for them to seek refuge with him, Luo Ning fully recognized the other party's strategy. Luo Ning expressed his affirmation. According to the strategy you mentioned, we can give it a try. New. Chapter 89 Inspection of Mulberry Land. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 89 Inspection of Mulberry Land. After Luo Ning confirmed Jenny's plan, the next step was to arrange who would deliver the letter. First of all, this person must be from the Purple Fruit tribe, and secondly, it is best for this person to be recognized by Slain as a confidant of Jenny, so as to increase the credibility of the other party's request for help. Jenny recommended a suitable candidate, which was Lauren, a descendant of the housekeeper who had followed the Frank family since the previous generation. She had always been loyal to Frank and now served as both a servant and a political officer in the Purple Fruit tribe. Lauren has good loyalty and is quite clever. Apart from Horn and Jenny, he is the most suitable person to deliver messages in the Purple Fruit tribe. After the meeting ended, Luo Ning was arranged to rest in a clean and temporarily cleaned room. It is said that there are several such empty houses in the Zigua tribe that are still well preserved, and they were all left by those who once belonged to the Zigua tribe and now live in the Huete tribe. You will arrange a few guards later and ask them to rush to the Qingzhou tribe at dawn tomorrow and notify Redal and Tom to come over. In the room, Luo Ning ordered McCann. Are you afraid that I won't be able to defeat that Slain? McCann couldn't help but puff up his chest. Sir, although I always lose to Commander Redal in the competition, that's because Redal is strong, not because I'm weak. I can guarantee that this Slain is definitely no match for me. To deal with him, there is no need for the commander to take action. Luo Ning smiled. Of course I know your strength, but be careful when sailing. If the Grey Earth tribe hides its strength and several high-level knights come out at once, then we will be very passive. McCann was stunned for a moment, and then he understood Luo Ning's intention. Okay, I'll make arrangements right away to ensure that Redal and the others can arrive at the Purple Fruit tribe before tomorrow evening. Remember to keep it a secret. After watching McCann leave, Luo Ning stretched and lay down on the bed to rest. In fact, the reason just mentioned was only one aspect. He was also worried about Jenny and Horn from the Purple Fruit tribe, although both of them expressed their allegiance to him. After all, they had only known each other for less than a day, and Luo Ning still understood the principle of knowing people but not knowing their hearts. Jenny's strategy is very good. It can lure Slain and his men out of the Grey Earth tribe's defenses, saving Ronan the trouble of attacking the city, and can definitely reduce losses, but one thing needs to be noted. If Jenny and Horn are only superficially loyal, after Slain brings people over, and both parties cooperate inside and outside, it will be Luo Ning himself who will be in a passive situation. Although this possibility is very low, who can guarantee that this possibility will not happen? Luo Ning would certainly choose to avoid it when he could avoid falling into a passive situation. As he said, be careful and sail the ship for 10,000 years. The night passed quietly, and early the next morning, the three guards arranged by McCann left the Zigua tribe and headed for the Qingzhou tribe at dawn. At the same time, Jenny asked her housekeeper Lauren to take her letters and embark on the road to the Ash tribe. Even though Lauren would rush there as quickly as possible, it would probably already be afternoon before arriving at the Grey Earth tribe, even if Nazrain immediately dispatched people to the Purple Fruit tribe, they would only be able to arrive around dusk. This period of time was enough for Ruodal and Tom to come from the Qingzhou tribe. After all, compared with the distance between the two sides, Luo Ning was much closer. After breakfast, Night Horn gathered all the people from the Purple Fruit tribe, introduced Luo Ning's identity, and stated that in the future this group of people would serve the young noble in front of them. After the people of the Zigua tribe learned that the leaders had surrendered to Luo Ning, they had no objections. They immediately knelt on the ground and offered their loyalty to the new lord. The benefits of taking the initiative to recruit Jenny and others are revealed. Luo Ning does not need to spend time and effort to implant his identity and image into the hearts of these people. He only needs to give instructions to Jenny and Horn to arrange things, and they will make arrangements. However, the people of the Purple Fruit tribe have recognized Jenny and Horn as their leaders for so many years, and this phenomenon still needs to change. After the siege of the Savage tribe is over, Luo Ning needs to relocate and exchange the populations of several tribes to weaken their recognition of the old leader and at the same time establish the image of Hillwood Castle and him. Jenny, I hope you can help me make a census of the Purple Fruit tribe. After the meeting with the tribe members, Luo Ning, accompanied by Jenny and her family, went to the mulberry field to check on the condition of the mulberry trees. Census. Jenny wondered, what do you need to know? It's very simple. It is to collect information on the name, gender, age, and marital status of all members by family, and at the same time, specially mark out some craftsmen with special skills, such as carpenters, masons, and blacksmiths. The reason why Luo Ning asked Jenny to do this was that she was from a Viscount family and must be much more knowledgeable than Wilson to be able to complete this task. Second, he also saved some time for Wilson so that the population registration could be completed as soon as possible. At this time, Irene jumped out, Lord Luo Ning, let me help you with this matter. You? Luo Ning glanced at the little girl in surprise, are you sure you can do it well? Can you write? I can. Erin patted her chest and was very confident, my mother taught me to read and write when I was 6 or 7 years old. I know a lot of things, this is quite rare. Okay, then I'll leave this matter to you. Luo Ning smiled and said, if you do well, I will reward you. Well, just call me Brother Luo Ning. He originally wanted to reward him with a silver or gold coin, but he felt that it was not appropriate to give money to a child, so he might as well do something gimmick. Good. Irene agreed, turned around, and ran home to get pens and paper to get started, not planning to accompany her to inspect the mulberry forest. Ms. Jenny, I didn't expect that in this deep mountain, your cultivation of Erin has not diminished at all. Luo Ning turned around and said, maybe when she grows up a little bit, I can get her help in many places. It's our honor and Erin's honor to serve you. Jenny smiled and said, this child has a lively personality and loves to learn. He should gain a lot of knowledge following you. Then let her follow me from now on. Luo Ning said, you two can also live in Shanlin town, but I still hope that, Night Horn, you can help me manage the sericulture industry, so I hope you will continue to stay in the Zigua tribe. Maybe I can rename this place Purple Fruit Village. Luo Ning looked up towards the mountain, and many mulberry trees came into view. Autumn has officially entered for nearly a month, and the leaves of some mulberry trees are still a little green, but more of them have turned yellow. Obviously, these mulberry leaves were enough for Horn to expand the breeding scale. The reason why he did not breed more silkworms was probably because of insufficient manpower. When we conquer the Grey Earth tribe and the Black Collar tribe, these villages will be opened up. Although I will let you stay here, you can go elsewhere at any time. Everything must be obeyed, sir. Horn smiled. When people reach middle age, they will always have some strange hobbies. Although he is a knight, besides charging, his biggest hobby is this. Actually, I quite like studying these things here. I just didn't expect you to be interested in these things, sir. Silk cocoons can be used to make silk, and silk can be used to make fine fabrics and comfortable clothes. Luo Ning told his knowledge about sericulture, which made Horn and Jenny confused. They really couldn't think of any connection between ginkgo and cloth, they really can't understand, otherwise they wouldn't just eat the pupae in the cocoons. Several people walked into Mulberry Forest while talking. According to Horn's introduction, Luo Ning knew that the current mulberry trees of the Zigua tribe were scattered across several acres of land, with one tree here and one there, without any planning at all. Most of these mulberry trees grow naturally, and only a few of them grow from mulberry seeds. They are not very tall yet. Luo Ning made some calculations in his mind. Based on the calculation that one mulberry tree can support 20 silkworms, the current 345 mulberry trees in the Zigua tribe can support 6,900 silkworms. Theoretically, it is only enough to make 4 or 5 silk dresses. There are still too few trees. After the inspection, Luo Ning said to Horn, "Our first step is to expand the planting of mulberry trees. I suggest you plan 10 acres of land to plant mulberry trees to increase the yield of mulberry leaves." "It's okay, but sir, what about the food in Zigua village?" Jenny was worried. The food of the Zigua tribe was not enough, and it would be even worse if there was less land. "Don't worry, I will bring food from Shanlin town," Luo Ning said. "The people who live in Zigua village serve me just like the Qingzhou tribe, so I will naturally provide them with food." In the past, Shanlin town sold grain to Sainling every year. Now there is no need to sell it. There is no problem in transferring some of it to feed the more than 200 people of the Zigua tribe. "That's no problem," Horn agreed to the matter, "but sir, we don't have mulberries now. If we want to expand our planting, we have to wait until June or July next year." Luo Ning was stunned for a moment. "Do we have to wait until next year to expand planting?" Suddenly he understood. It seemed that the other party had not mastered the cultivation method of mulberry trees. You can expand your crops without using mulberries. Luo Ning walked aside and drew out McCann's long sword and cut off a mulberry branch. "When the mulberry trees grow green leaves next spring, pick strong branches like me, and control the length of each branch to a few dozen centimeters. At the same time, leave 2 or 3 leaves on the top, insert them into the soil and keep the soil moist, and the mulberry branches will grow into mulberry trees." Horn scratched his head. The meaning was obvious. "Is this okay?" Jenny knew little about planting, and asked in disbelief, "Is this really possible?" "Sure." Luo Ning smiled and said, "This method is called the cutting method, and can be used in the cultivation of many plants. When the time comes, you should plan the land. The distance between each mulberry tree should not be too close, but also not too far apart. 1 acre of land would probably be enough to plant 1,000 mulberry trees." Horn exclaimed, "Sir, you know so much." Jenny couldn't help but sigh, "My lord, you are worthy of being a member of the noble Wushan family. Your knowledge impresses us." Luo Ning laughed and said modestly, "The more you read, the more you will know a little bit about everything. But many people only know a little bit about it, and we still need everyone to work together. Come on, Night Horn, I'll take you to cook cocoons." "Cocoon cooking?" Horn followed Luo Ning. "Is it a new way of eating? New. Chapter 90 The Impatient Slain. You are listening at novelfull.audio. This rained at in the afternoon, the sun tilted slightly, and young Lauren walked more than 30 miles non-stop with Jenny's handwritten letter, and finally arrived at the edge of the Grey Earth tribe. Diamond suit. At this time, his whole body was wet with sweat, and he was stumbling, as if he would fall down at any time. His face was covered with dust and exhaustion, and his eyes had lost their light, leaving only the pain that the journey was not yet over. Originally, he didn't need to be so tired, mainly because he ran the last few miles in order to make himself look like he was about to die from exhaustion. This is Jenny's request. Only when Lauren ran out of breath could the urgency of the matter and the criticality of the situation be highlighted, and Slain be convinced of what happened to her and Irene. Finally reached, that the Grey Earth tribe is different from the green bamboo and purple fruit tribes. There are many people here and it is on the front line. There will be several patrol teams of 2 people patrolling the periphery. Lauren happened to see one and hurriedly stumbled over. "Help, help, help." The 2 patrolmen soon heard the sound and saw Lauren's figure, who. Lauren quickly took out an autographed letter from her arms. "Purple Fruit Tribe, Magic Jenny, seeking Lord Slane's help." He ran 2 steps and fell to the ground with a plop. The 2 patrolling officers ran over immediately upon seeing this. The Zigua tribe knew that they were allies. they had also heard of the beautiful female magician named Jenny, who was exactly the woman their leader had dreamed of. Quickly, help him go to see the leader, that the two of them didn't dare to delay. They picked up Lauren on the left and right and ran towards the fortress. The fortress of the Grey Earth tribe can be regarded as the most primitive noble castle. Many places are made of wooden structures. If Luo Ning saw it, he would definitely think of using fire attacks and use fireball to greet him. However, the towers and fortresses directly in front were made of stone and looked very thick and solid. Stones smashed from above and arrows shot down pose a great threat to Luo Ning's soldiers. If they attack by force, there will be certain losses. At this time, in the fortress hall, the leader of the Grey Earth tribe, Slain, was sitting on the main chair. He was tall and rough-looking, but his eyes were small and he looked a little uncoordinated. At this time, he was staring at a middle-aged man next to him and asked anxiously, "How is it, ma'am?" "What is written in the letter?" Don't blame Slain for being anxious, he is really illiterate and can't even write his own name. The Mamu in front of me was once a member of the Purple Fruit tribe. Later, he had a good relationship with Slain during the cooperation and joined the Grey Earth tribe. "Ma'am is literate, sir, this is indeed Jenny's handwriting, and the content is exactly as Lauren said. She and Miss Irene were imprisoned by Horn and were mistreated. I wrote a letter specifically, hoping that you can take action to save their mother and daughter. As a thank you gift, she will agree to your request." "Ha ha ha, okay." Slain laughed heartily, thinking of Jenny's appearance and the appearance of little girl Irene. The smile on his face became brighter and brighter. As the leader of the Tripartite Alliance, self-proclaimed, he did not get the best woman from the Tripartite Alliance. This was something he couldn't reconcile. This is a rare opportunity. "Ma'am, go tell Babylon and the others to bring a few skilled men with you. We will ride on the horse and go to the Purple Fruit tribe to save Jenny and Irene." "Sir, I think this matter is a bit strange." Ma'am frowned slightly. "As far as I know, Horn doesn't seem like someone who would abuse Jenny. His character seems to be very honest and he respects Jenny very much." "Huh, what do you know?" "That Horn looks honest. Maybe he is full of bad ideas, and he may have been very dissatisfied with Jenny in his heart." Slain looked sarcastic and sneered. Now that he has been promoted to a senior level, he thinks he is great, and his hidden dirty heart is finally exposed, and he wants to regain some face from Jenny and her daughter. "But sir, I still feel a little abnormal." Slain took a deep breath. If Mamu was not an intermediate knight and the second master of the Grey Earth tribe, he would have scolded him long ago. Now he still had to give him some face. "You don't understand Jenny, a woman. She would not ask me for help unless she was forced to a certain point." He knew Jenny hated him, but so what? After today, the other person will be her woman, and she will be a mother and daughter together. It is exciting to think about it. "Don't worry, I won't be carried away by beauty." Slain said to Ma'am, "After today, rescuing Jenny and her daughter is the second most important thing. Taking over the Purple Fruit tribe is the most important thing. Once we absorb the Purple Fruit tribe, Willie of the Green Bamboo tribe will not be a concern. When we have the same scale as the Black Collar tribe, we can also build castles, build tall buildings, and live a life several times better than now. Ma'am, now go and mobilize the others to follow me to the Zigwa tribe." Slain would not give up this opportunity. "So what if Horn becomes a senior knight? I am also a senior knight, and there are 2 intermediate knights, you and Babylon, and 3 junior knights. We don't need to be afraid of him at all." Seeing that the leader had made up his mind, Ma'am had no choice but to accept it. Although he felt there was something fishy, it was true as Slain said, even if there was something fishy, they could handle it. Even if the Purple Fruit tribe and the Green Bamboo tribe join forces to harm them, they can still handle it. As for the Black Collar tribes, they had just finished their autumn harvest and were busy distributing and handing over food, so they probably didn't have time to raid them for the time being. "Okay, sir, I'll get ready now. But we'd better go back and forth within 3 days, otherwise we'll be in trouble when the Black Collar tribe knows about our departure." "No problem." Slain nodded in agreement. Mamu's mind was still good, which was why he attracted the other party to join the Grey Earth tribe. "Lauren, you did a great job." He sat on the chair and looked down at the exhausted Lauren. At this time, he regarded the other party as his subject. From now on, you can live peacefully in the Grey Earth tribe with your master. I have asked someone to prepare lunch for you. Now you can go down and have a good meal and have a good rest. Thank you for your arrangement. Lauren stood up and saluted. My master Jenny and Miss Eileen are waiting for your rescue in the damp little house of the Purple Fruit Tribe. Please don't let them wait too long. Don't worry, your master and servant will meet again tomorrow afternoon at the latest. Lei was in a very happy mood at the moment. He could not wait to put on a pair of wings and fly to the Zigua tribe to kill Horn, and then kick open the dilapidated house in a heroic manner to show Jenny and Irene how powerful he was. Bah, a man who was defeated by his subordinates will forget that he was defeated by my subordinates when he became a high-ranking knight. Slane was very disdainful of Horn in his heart and never considered the latter as his opponent. This time I will show you what a real high-level knight is. Soon, Mam had gathered everyone. In addition to himself, Slane and Babylon, there were 3 junior knights and 5 cavalrymen dispatched this time. These 11 horses were already the entire property of the Grey Earth tribe. They were obtained through several exchanges of captives with the Black Collar tribe and purchases from outside. This is also what Slane is proud of. After all, he is the only one in the tripartite alliance who has a horse. This is what attracted Mam to join in the first place. With 11 people, it is possible to defeat the Purple Fruit tribe, but it is a bit difficult to control the people there. Fortunately, this time they were going to rescue the leader of the Purple Fruit tribe. As long as Jenny was rescued, the people of the Purple Fruit tribe would surrender. Slane glanced at the team, his eyes bursting with pride. Let's go. New book bar.